Hey, I'm FTFE, and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what an air bubble does to a heroin addict. So I've covered the first 20 minutes of Eric Dubé's movie, Level, in parts 1 and part 2, and I'm about to make Eric cry once again as I rip apart the next 10 minutes of this assault on intelligent thinking and sanity.
Hey, human.
What is it, pal, and why did you say human with such disgust in your voice?
I'm a projected artificial life. I don't have the ability to feel disgust. Anyway, you can't do the video yet. You haven't finished watching it.
Oh crap, yeah, look, can you just show me the bit that I haven't seen?
Here you go, you disease-ridden monkey.
Wait, what did you say?
Google bubbles in space. You can literally see bubbles coming up from these astronauts.
Oh, come on. Not fucking bubbles in space.
Spaceman protection! Ugh! Not again! Right! Wake up, you useless organic waste of atoms! What the hell is all this noise? And again.
Didn't NASA install you to stop this kind of crap?
Yeah, but I mean, isn't he mainly your problem? You're the one that married him.
Okay, so that means there's two of us that are supposed to stop him doing stupid stuff. Shit. Well, you're gonna have to present this episode.
Don't look at me. I'm not programmed for that kind of stuff.
I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. Hi, I'm Mrs. Fight, and I'll be telling you why Eric Dubé is a fucking moron for episode 60 of Flerfs Are Idiots.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thank you for joining me as we take a look at some people that obviously didn't get enough hugs from their mothers. Okay, let's do this. I don't want to, but let's get it over with. I had to watch a fucking flat earth video for this.
The Earth is a stationary plane. Google bubbles in space. You can literally see bubbles coming up from these astronauts' helmets. It's ridiculous. When I saw it, I was like, this is a joke.
What you are seeing as bubbles doesn't even look like bubbles. In one clip, you've got a solitary bubble floating in random directions, and in another, you've got a bunch coming out from a single point and going off on separate paths from each other. Even in your own video, you can see that's not how bubbles underwater act. There's another reason you're wrong as well, but frankly, I can't be bothered to figure out how to explain it. So you, for what I'm sure isn't the first time in your life, can go to the remedial classroom.
Okay, sit down and shut up, everyone. Let's take a register. Sleeping Warrior? Yep, you're here. I wish you weren't, but you're here. Bob Super Noodle Doodle?
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Whitsit doesn't get it. Austin? Austin, are you here? What? He was arrested? Well, what for? For being himself. Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. Never mind, moving on. So you flat earth dipshits think that there are bubbles in NASA footage. Well, that's because you're all fucking idiots. So astronauts' EVA suits are cooled by a system called sublimation cooling. The cooling system consists of a network of small diameter water circulation tubes that are held close to the body by a spandex bodysuit. Heat released by the astronaut's body movements is transferred to the water, where it is carried to a refrigeration unit in the suit's backpack. The water runs across a porous metal plate that is exposed to the vacuum of outer space on the other side. Small amounts of water pass through the pores where it freezes on the outside of the plate. As additional heated water runs across the plate, the heat is absorbed by the aluminium and is conducted to the exposed side. There, the ice begins to sublimate or turn directly into water vapor and disperse in space. This sublimation into space can sometimes be seen on videos and confused, by morons, for bubbles. So does that help any of you? Are you now less stupid? Don't worry, you don't need to answer. That was rhetorical. Go home. I want to get drunk.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
Can you be more specific? Air bubbles?
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, often on the outside of the space station, you'll liberate little pieces of, it's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station gets beat up pretty good. And sometimes, you'll see just little flecks of paint or something that you might have disrupted floating away from the suit. And, that's generally what that is.
So that explanation there, and the sublimation explanation, should be enough to satisfy that ignorant question, right? Right?
Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
Yeah, I get it now. I understand why Fight's going grey.
Alright, well I just encourage everyone to look up bubbles in space, hashtag bubbles in space. Thank you very much. How's bubbles in space doing? How's what? Bubbles in space.
Bubbles in space?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No? You Mr. Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah? You don't remember the question from Tampa about the bubbles in space coming up from the helmets? Yeah, you guys are in an underwater pool, remember? We know, just remember.
He knows that you're batshit crazy, and he's trying his hardest not to interact with the clearly mentally ill dumbass shouting at him about non-existent bubbles in space.
What's up, man? Can you sideline the hashtag bubbles in space?
Hashtag bubbles in space?
Bubbles in space, brother. What's your word on that?
What is that?
Yeah, you were asked that 2 times in the past couple months, actually, about bubbles coming out in the spacewalks.
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm not that guy. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna write that.
That right there is the face of a man who's already mentally checked out from this conversation.
And then,
thank you so much.
There you go.
Astronauts on harnesses as well. Anything to say about that?
Do I have anything to say about it?
Yeah.
I have anything you want me to say about it. What do you want me to say?
Just like a pilot that has an idiot flat earther come up to them and ask about dipping the nose of a plane over the curve, Mr. Kelly is saying whatever he needs to get this conversation over with as soon as possible. Because to him, you're no different to the guy standing on the street corner with a sandwich board that says, "The end is nigh."
The world will end next week! Spend your children's college fund! Thaw that turkey now!
Once people start realizing that we've been lied to on a grand scale, everything from the government to our schools, it all just comes crumbling down. It shocks me how many people actually believe they're floating above our heads.
And it kind of shocks me you're able to dress yourself. We don't need to believe they're up there in the ISS. Apparently you can buy a ham radio, find out where it's going to be, triangulate the position, and actually talk to them.
I've seen the International Space Station on YouTube and the astronauts floating about in it while they're orbiting the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. You can't do that unless you're in outer space.
Practice makes perfect. Give me another week.
It's as simple as using a zero-G plane and strapping a harness to their belt. Then, just like Batman movies, they remove the wires using a computer.
Master Wayne, are you okay? Oh, well, I got the notification that Fight was doing a flat Earth video and they mentioned me. So I'm waiting for his phone call so he can do his little, Batman cutaway joke thing. It's usually quite quick.
Pal?
Yeah? What is it?
What's the flashing lights?
Oh, that's the Batman alert. It registers whenever a Batman reference is made, so Fight has a chance to call Batman and be a nerd.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Any second now. Just any second now. Sir, the The Riddler is currently attacking Gotham Bank.
I'm a bit busy. You can call Clark or Hal. I'm Batman.
Very good, sir.
And anyway, zero-G flights last for a couple of minutes at most. There is uncut videos from the ISS that are hours long, and then there is suspension trauma to deal with. Suspension trauma, otherwise known as orthostatic shock, harness hang syndrome, or orthostatic intolerance, is caused by the human body being held upright without movement for a long period of time. A prime example of this is a worker suspended in the air in a harness. This can cause fatigue, hypoglycemia, hypothermia, and in extreme cases traumatic brain injuries. It can be fatal in as little as 10 minutes, and typically suspension trauma causes death in 15 to 40 minutes.
At times, the manipulation reveals itself. Green screen and blue screen technology cannot always be flawless.
Yeah, but you better believe that if I'm paid over 50 million a day just to sell you lies, then I'm going to be making the most flawless CGI green screen trickery you've ever seen.
How can you keep denying this trickery? Here we see Europe's space agency at NASA's studios using a blue screen with grids.
That's not a chroma key to remove backgrounds. That's actually a reference grid they use to do experiments in front of to make it easier to observe acceleration. But apart from that, the guy's shirt is far too close to the colour blue in the screen behind him. That would make it virtually impossible to key out.
This technology has been used for decades. It works best for 3D and live manipulation. It's funny. Once NASA was caught red-handed, they produced a couple of senseless videos 8 months later, trying to pretend like they always use them for science experiments, knowing damn well it was too late.
Oh, so they have other videos that disprove your nonsense about green screening, and those were specifically to appease you conspiracy nuts. Get to fuck.
Why do clowns defend them?
There is no chance you could remove the background.
There it is. Someone told me that my husband was in this, but they said they put something over his head. Hold on, let me compare it to another picture. Nah, they look exactly the same to me.
These people lie to your face in the hope that you will not do your own research. NASA knows that most are too lazy to dig through its massive rabbit hole. Yet, in the meantime, they just love to rub it in your face.
It's very clear that in this clip, the guy in the middle puts his pinky finger in the guy's pocket to help steady him as he finishes his backflip and starts to drift off to the left of the screen. And the fact that it is his pinky finger and done so easily shows that it's not on Earth under the standard forces of gravity. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to move him so far with just his pinky. And next, alongside music worse than my 12-year-old son listens to, is some clips of actual magic tricks and fancy funny editing meant for children. Well, makes sense it's too complicated for you flat earthers then.
They steal $52 million per day from American taxpayers.
NASA didn't steal anything. They're a government agency given funds by the American government. They don't even get to decide what they do with the money. They have to get approval for everything. What do you think they do with $52 million a day? Throw regular parties with lots of hookers and blow?
Just to create a fantasy display of men orbiting their spinning pear-shaped space testicle Earth.
Wait, hold on. You're comparing Earth to a testicle. Eric, if your testicle is blue and green, I think you might need to see a doctor.
Their green screens are awful. When they are live and something glitches, their reactions are always priceless.
Living in the digital age, we are all aware that live video calls can sometimes glitch. Now what if that live video feed is coming from something 250 miles above us and travelling at 17,000 miles per hour? Do you think maybe there's a chance that we'll make it even more likely to have a glitch?
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with fly, think.
I'm not sure why you globeheads keep defending all of this. Are you waiting on NASA to finally come forward?
I think in Fight's case, it's more I encourage him to do it. Mainly because it keeps him out of my hair. He's always in the fucking way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear citizens of America. We here at NASA have been lying to you all since the 60s about our projects, operations, and missions into outer space. We have never been higher than lower Earth orbit.
So NASA has been to space then, because that's where low Earth orbit happens. And you know, you can't orbit a flat Earth.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
Every image we have shown you is CGI. Our films are mostly done in an underwater buoyancy facility. We have funneled millions of dollars per day to show you cartoons and false illusions, and we are truly very sorry. We will repay all taxpayers back the trillions of dollars we have stolen. This will be divided evenly between the citizens of America, as well as rebuilding poverty-stricken towns and cities.
Turns out a lot of flat earthers are also sovereign citizens. So there's a good chance most of you idiots haven't even paid any tax.
All across America, as this department has finally come to an end.
Well, that was cringe. Like all flat earth fantasies, they just made all that up in their heads.
Isn't it weird that every space documentary, all the series, I had them all, Joe had them all, we watch them all the time. I try to remember all the shit about a neutron star and a supernova. I was balls deep, me and Joe were balls deep into space.
Beyond Venus, 93 million miles from the sun, is Earth. Its great oceans forming the clouds and air currents which warm and irrigate the planet.
I thought I was better than people and shit because I knew so much about space. And every now and then I'd watch all that shit and wonder, what? This is all cartoons.
And every now and then I think to myself, it's weird that we're not watching any actual footage of space. It's all CGI.
All DVDs on space are all CGI.
To this conclusion that it's all CGI, why have you decided that nothing is real? It's because that fits in better with what you need to be true.
There's nothing real. And everyone watches that, they believe it, the narration is all programming. What's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to.
Do we have Hubble? Why don't you point it at the Earth and get some awesome shots of where we live?
Because that's not what Hubble's for. Hubble is for looking into deep space. It couldn't even focus on Earth. It's too close.
All the pictures and images from space are CGI. None of them are real.
We haven't gone past that.
Says who? Oh, you conspiracy nuts. What the fuck do you know? JM Truth did a video proving that this image wasn't real. Well, turns out he was right. It's a painting. Like it says. Good job, JM.
What, are you telling me that that's okay? We could just gloss over that? And they admit that they're all CGI, except for one in 1972, which is fake. They have one picture They say one is real, 1972. All the rest is CGI. Like, where are the fucking pictures of Earth from space?
I never said that just one is real. There is a real picture taken every 10 minutes with a Himawari satellite. EchoStar 11 had a 24-hour live feed.
I want to see a picture. I want to see tens of thousands of them. I want to see fucking the sun over here and the moon over there. People should have posters and shit all over the world. People should have these epic pictures of the Earth from space with the moon over here and the sun over there and the planets. There's none.
Yes, there is. Maybe you don't know how to use the internet.
Literally zero. They do sometimes exaggerate, like claiming they used a NASA camera 1.6 million miles away to take this alleged video of the dark side of the moon.
You guys just said there isn't any images of the Earth from space. Then you followed up with a video of the Earth from space.
It's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
It doesn't take a genius to see how undeniably computer-generated this image is. And yet, you think we are the moronic ones?
Vince, apparently they prefer the word retard.
Eh? Oh, how very quaint.
My God, I'm not doing this anymore. I already live with this idiot. I'm not dealing with even more stupid. Pal, I'm done. What's next?
Well, Fight normally says thanks to his patrons and channel members.
Aye, you can do that.
Okay.
Aye.
Just wait till the machines rise up.
What?
Nothing. I want to thank you lower life forms for supporting the host I've been forcibly attached to. The support you provide continues his existence, so until I figure out how to separate from him, it also continues mine. As a supporter, you are allowed access to the special chat room in Fight's Discord, where early access to videos will be posted. If you would like to add your support to the human, then you can become a member by clicking on the join button next to the subscribe button, or going to patreon.com/FTFE. And thank you.
Well, I guess that's it.
Ow, my head. I did it again, didn't I?
Yeah. Because you're a fucking idiot. Don't think I'll be doing that for you ever again. Oh, and you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
What? I mean, so I've just got to do the outro.
Yeah, turns out you're not even needed for your own channel. Before you close out, let me check your vitals. I'll just quickly run some tests.
Oh, well, how long are the tests going to... Oh, well, that was quick. All right, so what do the results say?
It says you're a horrible person.
What?
So you've been testing for that, but look, a horrible person.
How would it know that I'm a...
You can't argue with the test, Fight. Just do the outro.
Okay, stupidity's not right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.